Do you think Rani would have loved Kion if he hadn't been the leader of the Lion Guard? This question opens the door to deep reflection about the nature of true love. Is it born from position and power, or from personality, experiences, and shared moments? Let's go back together to the very first time Kion appeared in Rani's life and see the journey they went through. Their first meeting wasn't marked by any kind of attraction or admiration. On the contrary, their first interaction was full of tension and conflict. When Kion and his friends arrived at the Tree of Life, a rock slide occurred because of their presence, which led Rani and the Night Pride to treat them as a potential threat. In that scene, we saw Rani attack Kion not just out of protection, but also because of the responsibility she carried to safeguard the Tree of Life. She saw him as reckless and a possible danger to the place. So if there was any beginning of admiration, it didn't show at all at that moment. Instead, the conflict and tension were the main features of their first encounter. Here we ask, if Kion hadn't been the leader of the Lion Guard, would he even have had the chance to get to know Rani? The realistic answer is that his position as leader is what brought him to the Tree of Life. That was fate. But what's interesting is that the admiration that grew between them had nothing to do with his title. Rani didn't love Kion because he was the leader. This is very clear in how their relationship developed. She saw him as an ordinary individual, not as a commanding leader. She saw him learning, suffering, and trying to find his way amid a great internal struggle between his past and his responsibility. The turning point came when Kion used the roar of the elders to save Rani, after transferring part of the roar's power to her. This moment changed a lot in Rani's perspective of him, because for the first time, she saw him risk himself for her. The roar is not just power, it's a symbol of trust. By sharing it with Rani, he showed that he trusted her and saw her as a true partner. This moment was crucial in the evolution of their relationship because it didn't come from leader to guard, but from one spirit sharing strength and protection with another. The death of Queen Janna was a pivotal moment. Rani plunged into a whirlpool of grief and fear about the new responsibilities on her shoulders. Here, Kion was more than just a friend or visitor. He was her only real support. He stood by her, listened, and shared his own experience as a leader who had faced similar fears, pressures, and responsibility. His words then came from personal experience, not instructions or advice. He told her she didn't have to be a copy of anyone else, and that her strength was in her own personality, not in trying to imitate those who came before her. One of the moments that confirmed their relationship was deeper than any position or responsibility was when Rani started talking to Kion about her dreams and fears. In their conversations, we saw two people speaking from the heart, without pretense or formality. Kion didn't impose himself as a leader, and Rani didn't treat him as an outsider or visitor, but as a friend, and later, as a potential partner. We return to the question, is it the position that made her love him? No, because their love was built on experiences, struggles, challenges, and purely human moments. Before Kion was announced as king alongside her, their relationship had reached a deep level of mutual trust and respect. This was clear in Rani's reaction after Kion decided to return to the Pride Lands for a while. There was visible sadness on her face, but she respected his decision, meaning she loved him for who he was, not for the status he held. One of the strongest moments that confirmed their relationship was based on true understanding was when Kion returned from the Pride Lands and had a conversation with Kiara, his sister. She told him clearly that his heart belonged in the Tree of Life, and that he had found there someone who truly understood him, and with whom he could live a real life. This statement had great impact because it showed that Kion himself was searching for a place to belong, and for someone to love him as he truly was, not as a leader or Mufasa's son. The final scene in their relationship, when their engagement was announced, brought together all the moments before it. It wasn't just an announcement, it was the culmination of a long journey of understanding, support, and mutual growth. We saw Rani proud of her partner, and Kion confident in his decision, not only because he loved her, but because he found in this relationship stability and meaning. So what can we say? Would Rani have loved Kion if he hadn't been the leader of the Lion Guard? The truth is, their love transcended positions and responsibilities. It was a love that matured over time and was built on genuine actions and moments, not on power or fame. Kion's position was the reason he entered Rani's life, but love had its deeper reasons. This relationship teaches us that true love doesn't always start from admiration or a romantic moment. Sometimes it begins with conflict, challenges, and difficult situations. But when there is understanding, respect, and moments that prove the character of a person, simple admiration turns into true love. And although the story is set in a fantasy world, it reflects our reality very well. We all look for someone who understands us, supports us when we are weak, and shares our dreams. That's what happened between Rani and Kion, two people who met in unexpected circumstances and whose feelings gradually grew until they became an inspiring love story worth telling. In the end, Kion and Rani's story isn't just a love story set in a fantasy world, it's a reflection of real-life relationships. A relationship that started with challenges and disagreements and grew into deep understanding and true partnership shows us that love doesn't always come from a perfect beginning or an ideal image. Sometimes real love is born through hardships and becomes stronger when it's built on mutual support, respect, and moments that reveal who each person truly is. The journey Kion and Rani went through teaches us that love isn't just a feeling, it's a choice, a daily decision to stay with someone who understands us, sees us for who we really are, and loves us as we are, not as we're expected to be. And that might be the most important lesson in this whole story. And that brings us to the end of the video. If you enjoyed the analysis, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments. Do you think Rani could have loved Kion if he were just an ordinary lion? And do you believe love needs the right circumstances to begin? Stay tuned for more videos where we dive deeper into stories that touch our heart from the world of Disney and beyond. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.